Instrumental transcommunication photography. Still, what? Is a technique where you use a medium such as cold water, steam or video as your platform for spirits to use to either show themselves or communicate. You then try to capture this ghostly interference on the camera. In essence, this technique is very similar to the ghost box, and it can be performed with a variety of different mediums. But judging by the time that I've spent on various paranormal investigation groups, water, steam and video seem to be the currently most popular ones. So, cold water ITC. What the fuck is that? First, you select a receptacle for your cold water, preferably something dark with a reflective bottom. I have seen cookware being used more than once, so this pot will do just fine. Then, you take your camera, you splash around in the water, and you take your pictures. Sadly, I'm not making this up. Okay, so what did we capture here? A picture of a pot of water. A picture of a pot of water. This is actually quite interesting. It's a picture of a pot of water. And yes, people do believe this. Just look at this magical interaction between two people that I came across. Cold water dog, 10th of May. Anyone out there had a dog like this? Looks like a small collie. It looks like my mom's dog, Whiskey. He died 2 years ago. I don't see the resemblance. And no, they're not looking at the actual receptacle, they're looking at the specular reflections in the water. And that's just... I got nothing. It's... Next segment. Maybe this time it won't be stupid. Okay, let's do this. We need a black background, a good light source, and a pot of water. Just turn on the heat, wait for the steam to rise, and start snapping pictures. Nothing. Apparently having nice scents and play good music will help. Still nothing. Maybe if I sing. Jennifer, Juniper, sitting very still. Still nothing.
The back of your throat, it's you swallow the Holy Ghost.
Nope, still nothing. I need a drink. Okay, so we have created a video feedback loop. Now what? So what's actually happening here? Have you ever spent a lazy summer day looking at the sky and found clouds that look like ducks, dolphins, or elephants? Well, then you have already experienced it. It's the same thing responsible for people seeing faces on the surface of Mars, Elvis Presley and Toast, and Jesus Christ in a dog butt. It's pareidolia, the perception of patterns in random data. It's perfectly natural for these people to find what they're looking for in these images. They're not stupid for doing it. The stupid part is believing it. When talking to ghost hunters about how these techniques actually work, and I do, as I do not wish to misrepresent anybody, most of the explanations I've gotten seem to evolve around the idea that the ghosts or spirits make a connection with the photographer, who then through various means relays the information from the spirits to the physical medium being captured. When asking how this connection is established, I have heard everything from, I don't know, to more elaborate ideas involving electromagnetism and biophotons. I'm not going to bother going through the explanations in this video, as they all hinged on these pictures actually being solid evidence and incorporated unfalsifiable claims about information fields outside of our measurable reality. Maybe a physicist could show that there's no room for that, but fuck it, I'm not a physicist. One of the ghost hunters I talked to gave me an interesting picture. Apparently, there's a triangle formed in the steam, which I'll omit. It's a bit of an oddity. So, for a moment, let's take his word for its authenticity and view it as a formation of steam. If you give it enough time to happen, and if you look at it hard enough, you will find shapes in noise. Here, I've programmed a random number generator that generates a number between 1 and a million. I got the number 1. It doesn't feel very random. 2,463 would have felt more random, but the chances of getting either of those was a 1 in a million, equally unlikely. The same way that this is just as unlikely as this. The first one just doesn't feel very random, but it doesn't make it any more unlikely. You're also looking at a three-dimensional shape as a two-dimensional photograph with only one angle to view it from. What did the perceived triangle look like from another angle, and how long was it visible for? Like with many things, it's all about perspective. What do you think that the cloud dolphin would have looked like if viewed from above? You also have not provided sufficient cause for us to believe that this is in fact a formation of steam. The triangle has very different visual qualities from the rest of the steam. I'm not necessarily saying that you manipulated the photo and added the triangle later, even if it is a reasonable explanation. I think it much more likely that you accidentally left some residue on the lens, perhaps from a dirty cleaning cloth, that just refracted the light and created this pattern. Or it could be an artifact from your light source, like the patterns in a beam of a flashlight, and at this point the steam just took the optimum density and shape to capture it. Or it could just be a reflection from some object in the room. And that's kind of the point. Not a single one of these pictures can be viewed as any kind of evidence. There are just too many possible explanations for all of them. Even if you manage to convince us that the environment was under good enough control to reduce the number of possible explanations to a bare minimum, it would have to be some truly extraordinary shapes in the steam or water for this to be even remotely interesting. The likelihood of any of these shapes is just too damn high. I don't know. They're not hurting anyone, so I'm not gonna give them the finger. They're just kind of stupid. So I'm just gonna stand here and eat this banana.